We are the Hollywood Paranormal Detectives.
What is up, everybody? I got a belly full of Mongolian beef. I got a mouthful of crooked teeth. And I got a Mountain Dew Major Melon in my hand, ready to talk some ghost hunting to you. So, hey, Mountain Dew, maybe you can, rep us. Give us some Mountain Dew money. I don't care. Anyway, tonight it's HPD Live, and we're going to talk to you, and we're going to talk to the paranormal people that you want to talk to. And you know what? Before I get going, I'm going to who should I bring in first? Let me see in the comments real quick. Do you want Mandy or do you want Brian? Who do you want first? Mandy or Brian? First one I see is who's coming up. First one I see, who's coming up? Mandy or Brian? Mandy or Brian? Mandy or Brian? Come on. Mandy, you can't write Mandy yourself. That's another thing. You can't write Mandy yourself. Well, Mandy's in the chat, whatever. Mandy, we got two Mandys. We got 2 votes for Mandy. Mandy's
Thank you
in.
so much. I just want to thank my family for supporting me. I just no. That's terrible.
Acceptance speech.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Anyway, Mandy, how are you?
I'm okay.
Brian's hiding.
Killing me.
What? Here's Brian.
Oh, Brian.
He's there.
Hi, B.
Oh my gosh, how are you guys tonight?
Jazz hands.
Oh my
Hanging
Lord.
in there.
I am all hopped up on Mountain Dew. I am going crazy. I'm having a good time. I actually had Mongolian beef for dinner. I'm ready for this. Vulture City, guys. We met a lot of cool people.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And we met the guys, kind of Alex, the brain man behind Paranormal Forces. And he and his crew will be our guests tonight. Here they are, the one, the only, another LA-based crew, Paranormal Forces.
What's up, guys? Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
What is up?
What's up? And I don't know why. I guess we set it up vertically, so now we're like kind of narrow. But
yeah, I had because my phone was acting up.
Yeah,
it all works. It all works. It's
right?
all good. As long as we get that voice and we get them paranormal stories.
We're here.
Oh, we got some hi Brians. So Brian, you're not left out, even though they voted Mandy. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. He just got here. Literally got here.
I like that you are in a red room. Are you developing film or anything right now?
Actually, this is my room where I edit all my all the videos. So
now they say red does attract evil, negative forces, and we've even looked into doing experiments of doing all red light in a location to see if it gets more of a negative response. Does that have anything to your room? Or does your room have negative?
Actually, when he spends a night here in my apartment, go ahead, tell a story.
Sometimes I would hear like footsteps on the hallway, and I'm like, I'll literally just call him out. I'm like, Alex, I'm like, are you going to the fridge or are you going to the restroom? Son? And it's no one there. So and I'm like, okay, let me go check that out. So I'll walk in the hallway. There's no one there. I'll knock on his door. He's just on sleep. So I've heard really weird noises in this house before. Even knocks on the windows. I cannot explain.
And we actually, my door sometimes opens up out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, was that a breeze? But it was nothing, So sometimes it scares me because I'm like in the room just like looking at my phone, and then boom, the door just opens, and I'm like, what the hell?
But you got a location right there.
Yeah. Well, I did a seance here with because I was part of another group, and then I left. I did a whole year there. And then basically started this group. So that's a long story, but to keep it short, I needed more control of the whole, the investigations and the stories and all that stuff. So I just decided to go ahead and start all over again. And this is our, basically our first year and a couple months.
Yeah.
Awesome. I've been checking out your YouTube all day. You guys have been to some great places, and it's awesome. You guys are LA people.
Yeah. I have an office in Hollywood, and I live out in West LA, so I just commute back and forth when I need to, or I just work from home,
So
Yeah.
that means we will definitely have to do a collab.
Right?
Just
definitely.
even if we do a live from Suicide Bridge or something, we got to get together and just do something
Yeah.
fun.
I'm down. Actually, I just because I go around these places just to like keep an eye on them. I've been, keeping an eye on old LA Zoo, so I knew the gate was gonna come up because they have a new gate there.
Well, they usually gate up before Halloween.
No, this is a brand new gate.
Oh wow!
Like from scratch. Okay.
They started in August.
Yeah, they started in August, so I knew it was coming up because I could see them. They're putting the cement, doing all the holes inside and all that. So we went back. I literally said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop editing, stop posting. I need to go back. We need to go back and shoot another one. So we have another episode, but I don't know when I'm gonna release it. So sometimes we'll go places in an emergency because we know it's gonna get demolished.
Yeah.
Or something's gonna happen. So we'll go ahead right away, do another episode, keep it in the vault, and then go ahead and release it later on. That same thing happened to at the same time when that was happening, I also scouted Downey Asylum, and you know about the Downey Asylum.
I had gone to a little there's a little horror store over there, and I went and looked at the Chucky dolls and stuff. And
I work at the Halloween Depot, so I know exactly where you're talking about.
Yeah, and you can drive every time I go to that little store. I drive over and I stare at the Downey Asylum, and
the
cops always
about
talk
85% of it is demolished.
Oh, it was so cool, and it was so big.
So what we did was, again, 2-3 weeks ago, he wasn't available, so I shot an episode with Hex, and then I got him available, so we went back for a third one. So we have 3 church episodes, 1 released, 1 about to be released, and the other one will probably be released a long time from now. And that church is gone.
I just all permanent access, right?
Well, no. That church is gone. I just drove by it. It is demolished. Oh. It's just bricks there. So I'm glad we did that. I'm glad that I just stopped posting and stopped editing, because that's the reason why the Pet Cemetery, which is coming out on Friday, that was shot in August, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was shot in August. So
which
now
Pet
I'm putting
Cemetery?
it out.
Brian's interested in those.
Yeah, I really want the Camarillo one.
Actually, that's a really cool place. Web 702. Shout out to Web 702. He's out in Vegas. He does paranormal. He's the one who told me about it, took me to the location. We checked it out. He does usually live sessions and stuff like that. So I went with him on a full investigation, showed me the whole place, gave me the tour. We did the whole investigation at night. And of course, I still have that footage too. So I would like to release that too. But yeah, and after that, I said, you know what? I got to bring the guys out here and do an investigation. Came out in August. We shot it. And I said, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to release this. And then my friend from UK came, and he's like, hey, I'm going on a trip for Arizona. You want to come along?
You got to take it.
We're going to Sedona. We're going to Jerome. And I'm like, okay, I'm down. So we went, we shot 2 more episodes there. And then when I came back, I went to Vulture. I shot another one. Actually, Vulture, I have 5 hours and a half of footage that I have to go through.
Man.
Yeah.
So you're going to be editing for the rest of your life?
Pretty much. I got 6 episodes to do. But you know what? It's awesome that I captured the Vulture City, that I actually went there and I spent 5 hours filming, and just capturing everything, not just about me, but about the people and how they were perceiving things. There's people there that were, professionals or just started or just curious. They were there. It was a really awesome experience, and I definitely want to come back.
Yeah, Vulture City was pretty cool. We had a blast, and we're sort of that same way. We've got 2 full investigations. We have the bed and breakfast, and we have Goldfield School that I'm still working on, and then we've got everything from Virginia City is leaking out, and we have a normal episode we can put together from just Virginia City Paracon, and then we've got some Vulture City footage that we're going to put together. So we're probably 4 deep, with 10 TikToks versions, in the midst too.
Yeah, definitely stuff that I'm just gonna it's not gonna fit into the episode. I'll just probably most likely put it on TikTok, and then pieces from the episode in TikTok. I actually like TikTok a lot. Like it's different. Like the vibe there, it's a little bit more open. People are willing to like discuss things, that are a little bit, further from the norm,
Yeah. I like talking when we were talking a little bit at Vulture. I can tell we both filmed a lot and edited a lot.
Yeah.
By the way, we were like looking at this shot and looking at this shot and what this can do. And I don't know if you've seen our TikToks. We'll do little locations. Like if me and Brian do a museum in Virginia City, I'll just film us walking to that museum and do a voiceover and do a 1-minute thing. But you've kind of like marked that location off the list.
Yeah.
And sort of tell its haunted side too,
Right.
And that way you're kind of hitting more spots.
I did see some of your TikToks. They're great. Oh, yeah. I really like how you narrow rate it. It's really cool.
And if those videos blow up, you can go back to that location and be like, oh, we got 100 million views on this. Can we investigate? Even a place that doesn't investigate might be like, that's cool. Let's do that.
That's actually a great idea to do that, to like go places, shoot it real quick, see the kind of response you get. And then from there, you can say, you know what, let's shoot this. I like a full investigation.
That's like, we always stay at the Clown Motel when we investigate in Goldfield. And every time I mention Clown Motel, it gets more views than our Goldfield stuff. And so I'm always like, gosh, we don't investigate the Clown Motel.
Oh, I'm taking this guy because he's never been there. I've shot the Clown Motel there. My first 5 episodes on Paranormal Forces was with somebody else. And then from there, I started a whole fresh new crew. So he hasn't been there. And I actually want to go back and like kind of like just do a return type of thing. But like really put a lot of work in it. It's a really interesting place. And the owner manager, I guess, he's really, really nice guy.
Well, I was talking to him. He says they haven't had an investigation since COVID.
Really?
Yeah. Have y'all been there since COVID?
I was, yeah.
Or in a room or in the lobby?
No, we stayed in the room and did the lobby. And
really?
We did the cemetery. And I broke the episodes in 2. So I did the cemetery separately from the Clown Motel. I felt like it could do both. Like
he told me they didn't.
What?
I begged him. I'm like, oh, let us come back. He goes, I'll let you know when. But,
oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what? When I got there, I didn't have like, I didn't talk to him. I didn't know who it was, whatever. I just went in. And I say, hey, my name is such and such, blah, blah, blah. And I got it.
Oh, you're just on the fly.
Yeah. And then check this out. When I was there, we were checking out the next day. There's another guy that comes in all dressed in black. So I was like, oh, this guy's got to be a paranormal investigator. I said, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, what's up? Are you a paranormal investigator? He's like, yeah, my name's Tiny. So I guess that's his name. And, I forgot his real name. But anyways, he's like, hey, it looks I'm checking in. I'm like, I'm checking out. And so I think I got your room. I go, oh, that's cool. And he's like, hey, I'm going to go to the MISPA tomorrow. Do you want to come along? And I said, sure. And I told him, actually, we're staying at the MISPA, but we never really like contacted the hotel to actually do a proper investigation. We're going to do like guerrilla style, like straight up, wake up at 3 a.m, like we did San Carlos, and just do a paranormal straight out without permission.
Yeah, I mean, you can wander. We've done that at Queen Mary in the past, where you just walk the halls, walk the deck with your equipment, kind of being quiet.
Yeah,
that works too. Wow, wait, I've never heard of Paranormal Forces. Oh, you're getting some people finding out about you. People who haven't heard of you. Check out their stuff.
Much appreciated.
The best thing, you guys work hard. You work hard on it. I can tell you're putting out a lot of stuff, and you're focusing on getting it clean.
I mean, we shoot about 4 to 5 hours. I mean, we'll go to a location at like say 5 p.m. shoot the B-roll, then like, okay, let's go eat. We go eat. Oh, we sleep in the car. All of us in there, we're just like knocking out for like an hour or two, or go to the casino, play some whatever, and then come back and we're like, okay, you guys ready? All right. So we go back, and then we start like at around 10, 11. And we don't even look at we never look at the watch ever. I've never seen these guys ever. I've never done it. And lo and behold, it's 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And we're like sweaty, drenched because we wear our trench coats. We have a certain look.
Yeah, I can tell that too. Y'all are fully equipped.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I went to Vulture City with like my whole gear, so people might like say, oh, I recognize you, or eventually in the future will recognize me by the gear and the stuff that I wear will be usually what I wear at these investigations.
Yeah. That sounds a lot like old school HPD, Brian.
It does. That's what I was thinking.
Where we would just eat.
I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah. We always McDonald's, and we'd sleep, and we'd do midnight to 3.
Yeah.
But we're a little older and slower, so sometimes we would do when it gets dark till midnight.
Yeah, I always say to these guys, okay, you know what? Okay, we're starting at 9, so it's okay. That means we're gonna finish early. Never. We never finish early. We never go. Do we ever go home at 12? 1?
No, I usually get home around probably 4 or 5 in the morning. The latest that we've done was probably 8 in the morning, where we end up filming around 6, and then we get like a 2-hour drive back home. We're like, damn, we literally filmed more than what we needed, but hey, more the merrier. So
it's always good
to film more.
Yeah.
Most locations, I feel like once you get that good session, you're drained and the spot's drained, you know? So you kind of got to wait till that session happens, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We're talking so much about hitting the bricks and just going right to it. Let's find out more about you guys. Like, how did you get started in the paranormal? Or what was the first thing that took you from being like a little kid?
I want him to talk too, but I'll do it. I'll keep it short so that he can jump in on this. So I started in 2015, 16 to kind of like, because I was involved in a lot of like underground parties and raves and stuff like that. And I mean, like I have a lot of friends that are DJs. I'm involved in the goth scene and all that stuff. And I still am like what I would wear, probably I could go straight into a goth club and no problem. So what you guys see is what really I am. So, so anyways, what happens is a lot of these guys and friends and all that, they're at 2 a.m. They're like, hey, let's go to this scary place, you know? I said, all right, let's do it. So, that's when I got introduced to the Downey Asylum.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it all. Like, I just got so, like sucked into the whole paranormal. Now, in 2012, 13, I was watching Ghost Adventures, but it never clicked to me like, hey, maybe I should go look around here for haunted places to look, right? Yeah. I think it was more of like a social group, like a lot of my friends were like into it, and I was like, hey, I like that too. Let's do it. So we went, and so I started doing some amateur stuff here and there, recorded some stuff on Snapchat. I actually have to download a lot from the Snapchat of former buildings, like at the Downey Asylum, that house. I think that they filmed a film in. I forgot the name of the movie. They burned down, but anyways, we went in. Somebody kicked one of the boards, and one night we had full access upstairs, so I filmed all that stuff. And I have footage like probably that people might not have, just not professionally shot, with a camera and all that stuff. So anyways, I did all that, and then 2019, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to do something like more like on a professional level. So I started like trying to learn how to do editing myself. So everything that I do is self-taught.
Yeah.
And I did a documentary for somebody. That person was like, hey, we should do a paranormal a group. I said, sure, okay. I did a whole year with that group, and then I realized, hey, you know what, I'm outgrowing the group. You can't have 2 sheriffs in one town, so I literally had to go. So I just started a whole new group, but the name, I already had the idea in 2018-19. Because I usually like to work on people's projects, and then sometimes I just kind of forget to work on my own projects,
Yeah.
So during COVID, that was it. Like I just took off August, Friday the 13th, 2021. I started Paranormal Forces. I posted 5 episodes with one of the guys that really didn't fit the bill. And then out of nowhere, I found him. And he can tell you the story about that. And there's another friend that I have, which I knew from the whole club scene, and he joined in, and there we are.
And it finally clicked.
Yeah. So go ahead. How did we meet?
Well, I'm a cosplayer, so I do a lot of like demonic lookings. I do creepy clowns. I do Freddy. I do a lot of voice impressions. So
nice.
With my ability and creativity, we pretty much joined in literally in a photo meet, and then that's how we ended up just talking. He looked at me, he's like, hey, do you do paranormal? I'm like, well, sort of. I'm like, I've done it in the past, but not professionally, so then he's like, oh, well, I'm part of a group as well, and maybe one day we can actually work together. And it was just left as that. And then months later, I was like, hey, so do you still do paranormal, just to see if he's still doing it? He's like, yeah, I just came back from, I think at that time he told me it was the Clown Motel. I was like, oh, nice. I'm like, I've heard of that place so many times that I want to go there. He's like, oh, yeah, eventually we'll go. Well, as time goes, we just ended up talking. And I'm like, hey, I have a drone. If you want, we can do drone shots. And that's how it all started, just by doing one drone shot of the Suicide Bridge that I think we still have. And it kicked off from there. And then he's like, oh, dude, he's like, you could do that? I'm like, yeah. So it went off from there. And I basically fell in love with paranormal since 2007 when Ghost Adventures first started. Yeah. And ever since, I've been following up, for years and years. Then I got into watching Taps, and then watching Ghost Hunters, watching Ghost Brothers, and all of these other paranormal people. So I've tried doing paranormal with another friend of mine that his house is haunted. So and then he's like, oh yeah, dude, you should come and check it out. Let's do some stuff. So we did our own session without filming because I wanted to know what it felt like. And I could guarantee you that his house is definitely haunted. We filmed in Terman Canyon Road. I've gotten a weird voice coming through. Cobb Estate, I've gotten a weird voice and interference coming through. I've gone to Suicide Bridge. I was talking to a female who committed suicide using dowsing rods, and that was with someone else that was an ex-neighbor. He's no longer in the picture. Then from there, I just pretty much started filming with Alex, and here we are today.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's like me and Brian are kind of the same way. To go back to that, he was just a guy at my boss at Effects Shop, and we just talked ghost hunting, and I was already in a group, and he has always been interested and always kind of done it on his own, and I just pulled him in.
That's awesome.
Pulled him in, made it.
You see how we find everything, if you really look for something, or you really put something, you have passionate about something, everything will come together.
Yeah. And Mandy was always just kind of reaching out to me through Instagram if I never needed help. She was always complimentary on our stuff and just sort of reaching out. If you ever need a hand, or she's like, I'll hold a camera, I'll do anything,
That's cool.
And she's always been, she's extremely trained medium, super advanced beyond her years even. And yeah, we found Mandy, and this is such a good click, the three of us.
That's cool.
I love it. We got a question from Gavin, a buddy of ours. What was the first location where you captured some compelling evidence?
That was
Ritual Tunnel for sure.
Yeah, Ritual Tunnel.
Ritual Tunnel was our very first investigation.
What's the Ritual Tunnel? Where's that?
So Ritual Tunnel is, if I'm not wrong, it would be in Cobb Estate. You have to go up the Cobb Estate trail, passing the house.
I've been up to that tunnel. I would not go in. It looked too snaky.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, it's not. There's no snakes in that place. I can promise you, there's no way they're gonna get in. So you go through this trail that basically, if you put one wrong step, you're for sure gonna go down 50 feet down to rocks.
Yeah.
So that was our first test to see if we were real paranormal.
That's how I brought him in.
And I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, I love anything that's treacherous or dangerous because, like, I'm a daredevil myself. So I'm like,
are you willing to die for this?
We crawled inside that tunnel.
We had to army crawl to get into that spot because the door of the space where the door was is all full of gravel. Imagine the box hole from your house when you go under your own home. That's how big the box was. So
oh my god,
we go in there and literally we don't even know if there's other people in there, if there's satanic people in there or someone doing a ritual, but it's dark. And the most creepiest thing is you see shadows, but you don't know if it's your shadow or you don't know if there's a spirit shadow or a shadow man that you're seeing in there.
And at the end, we actually ran into some sort of satanic people. on our way out. So we got that little nice
Oh, yeah.
treat after we were already in that tunnel for like an hour and something, and then
2
had to
hours.
hike back to our car and go through Cobb Estate. So that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
that was
Cobb Estate was pretty cool.
yeah.
Wait, what were they doing? Were they just coming in, or were they
Yeah.
actually like in the middle of a ritual?
There's 2 of them, and they were just like they're blasting death metal, and they
Full
just
hooded.
stood full hooded and just stood there like that. I mean, we have it on film, yeah.
Yeah.
And I said hi. So, and
And they literally ignored him. They're like just into their own little zone. So we're like, all right.
I said to Hex, get the footage.
He was
I was
mad.
like, get it like this, you know? And he just passes by and just gets it like that, so it's just kind of blurry. But I was
It's
like,
scary.
it's still there, you know. You can hear the noise,
Yeah.
you can hear the music, you can see them a little bit not as clear because it's all in the dark. And
Yeah, it's dark.
Yeah.
we were using night vision camera for that. But you know, with night vision camera, you really kind of have to wait for it to kind of like, you know, see whatever you're pointing to, and then then it'll be clear, and you can see what's going on. But if you're taking that camcorder and swinging around, it's not going to focus right away.
It blurs a lot.
I remember we were Brian, we were at Cobb, and we had heard about the mountain lights, and we figured that everyone talks about the mountain lights, but the mountain lights are just people on the hill with their flashlights.
Yeah, they'll be hiking there like till
There were
12, 1.
30 lights going on up there. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Oh, that happens at the old LA Zoo too. I mean, yeah.
The episode we did, the nighttime investigation at the LA Zoo, we had a lot of stopping because of people and mountain lions. We heard a mountain lion. We got run off.
Well, it's funny when we did ours. We have another guy that he comes and does investigations with us. His name is Jared, and Jared was kind of very skeptical about the location. We were telling them, he's like, yeah, sure. And then, as soon as we started filming, what happened?
So there was like a lot of like weird noises happening, and then he's like, "Who?" He's like freaking out, and then we're like, "Dude, like, do you believe us now?" He's like, "Nah, man, it could just be anyone. It could just be anyone, just being, he's just being trying to be a skeptic." We're like, "All right, cool." So then we're like speaking out. Is there anyone here? Said kids. Okay. What about the kids? Mom. All right. And then he's like, "Oh, dude, I don't know if your device even works." So and then we're like walking down, and all of a sudden we find these negative photos of children, basically.
God.
Yeah.
And he was the one that found it next to his foot when we were
What?
walking out. So then from there, his face goes pale, and all of his arm hairs are like standing up. So he got the biggest chills from that. He's like, "Oh man, I'm a believer now." He's like, "I believe this." He's like, "I know that you guys are not lying." I'm like, "Well, we can't. It's hard."
I swear, the places sometimes we go, we run into things like spirits want to tell us stories or just leave clues for us. Like we went to the London Bridge in Lake Havasu.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Okay, so we shot the episode. It's up if you guys want to watch it. I'm not gonna tell too much of it, but I'll tell you, we found a bag full of court papers, right?
Full
Court
documents.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it was
weird.
about a gentleman who basically, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but he physically abused a relative, and it basically was brought up to court because he was doing that for I don't know how many years until the girl spoke out, and then apparently he thought that they were not important and left them there. When we were investigating, I was like, "Hey, dude, there's a bag right there. Like, why is the bag there?" And then we discovered all of these crazy stories that this gentleman has done throughout the years.
Yeah, there's court papers, and so there's a little note area in the court papers where you write what happened, describe it. Like, he took the car key and basically broke it off in the ignition. He busted out the door. He tried to get my daughter to go with him to leave. All kinds of stuff like that, super personal.
So was he trying to destroy these papers, and you guys found
there
them?
was a bag, and it just basically, you know how the corner of gates, they usually have that kind of a cylinder little artifact thing. He's just hanging on that and just there, and I'm like, what is that? I go look inside of it. just this thick of court papers.
Jeez.
Wow.
I mean, come on. The day.
That's like the starting of a murder mystery.
Right.
It honestly, yeah.
Check this out. We're from LA. We're driving 3-4 hours to Vegas. Okay. And we're staying in Vegas. From Vegas, we drive all the way to Arizona. And then that night we have to wait because there's clubs. There's about 4 or 5 clubs, both sides of the
The size of the bridge.
of the bridge. There's just clubs. So we waited till 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and then we started our investigation. And that bag's there at 4:30 a.m. when we find it. How is that
weird.
possible?
That's bizarre.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a trigger object. Oh, we got some questions. We got some. The Desert Medium Podcast asks, if you had to pick your top favorite paranormal location you have gone thus far, where would it be?
Oh man, there's just too many. Go for it.
That,
You go first.
that's a good one, because if I have to choose from all locations I've gone to,
Yeah.
and if I had to choose to go back and actually experience it, I would definitely go with Ritual Tunnel one more time. I'm always down to go
Yeah.
back to Ritual Tunnel.
We're going back. That's for sure.
Is that episode up for you guys?
Huh?
Is your episode up with the Ritual Tunnel?
Yeah,
it's
it's there.
The 6th episode when he first started
Okay.
uploading.
Yeah, it's down there. Just go to Paranormal Forces, scroll down. You'll see
I'll
it.
watch it and see if I would crawl in that hole.
Oh, but he
I don't
has
think
a really deep connection with a spirit.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I forgot about him. So on Spadra, there's a cemetery in there. For those who know it, it's called the Phillips Mansion. In the back of the mansion, there's this decent size, probably will say like less than 1 acre of just cemeteries, and just a bunch of tombstones and names and all that. So I'm like walking around and on
What's that?
Where
Okay,
is
so
that?
in Pomona,
Pomona.
formerly that area was called Spadra. Are
Okay.
you familiar with Phillips Mansion?
No, I don't know
Okay.
that.
We'll talk about it later, but I'll tell you
Okay.
this. So in Pomona, there's a mansion called Phillips Mansion.
Yeah.
Look that up. They're actually doing like a
Halloween
Halloween event there. Well,
Look at that.
whatever's left from Spadra is
Yeah.
only the mansion of the billionaire millionaire that lived there, and the
Yeah.
cemetery, which is further down. Okay.
Spadra?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that place is infested also with gangs and
Mhm.
homeless people. So be very careful
Good.
going there.
Good.
I suggest you go there in the daytime. Check it out before you go there at night.
Yeah.
There was a gangster that got shot literally there by the railroad. So we actually filmed that. It's in the episode. So we had to deal with that too. We also interviewed a gentleman that lived there. He's also one that's protecting the cemetery and making sure that nobody comes in and does like rituals and stuff. And he has seen it. He's on video. He says, yeah,
Mhm.
I go at night and I see kids coming in here cutting up chickens or something?
Chicken, dogs, animals,
Yeah.
cats,
Oh my God.
and they'll sacrifice them for whatever they're trying to summon, and then it just riles up the entire area.
So that place, that whole area was called Spadra, and it was going to be an upcoming town. And the railroad's going to pass by. The town's going to grow bigger. Guess what? The railroad never went by. And so the town died, and Pomona just ate it all up. And then all the land basically became in the hands of Pomona. Like basically, it's like by Pomona, by one of the colleges over there. So anyways, what's left of that location is Phillips Mansion, the richest man in that area. He also owned like 2 big buildings in downtown LA. He's buried at the cemetery there. The cemetery is dilapidated.
Mhm.
All the tombstones are kicked except for the big ones. And it's in the back area, in like a dark area across the railroad with a bunch of willow trees. That place is super creepy. And that's when we went in there, and straight out of nowhere, he was trying to talk to whoever it was, and it said his father, right? They called himself Father. Now, after that whole investigation, I was like, okay, cool. We go to another location, and it identifies itself as Father again. So it's as if the spirit
Oh, interesting.
appears in different locations, and the spirit is not like evil. It's like as if it's his protector, I think, because it's like guiding him, telling him stories, or telling him, words like quiet or be careful or just stuff like that. It's just weird, but he has that connection. It's just so funny that a lot of times I mention it in other episodes, like, oh, do you think Father's going to be coming on this investigation?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. For example, when we did Gallister, that same night, we went to Spadra to just go check it out. We're like, we got time to kill, so let's just go. We go.
We're out. We got our gear on. Go.
Yeah. So we just go. We just camera, walking, chilling. And we get to the part where it's father and mother. Mother is Philip's mother, and then father is Philip's dad. So when that happened and I got the word father, I literally look up and then right there engraved it says father. I was like, oh, so I'm speaking to someone. I'm like, all right, great. So when we get there for that night, I always go and introduce myself. I'm like, hey, my name is King. I'm with Alex. We are back to you guys. Yeah. We want to talk to you guys. We want to hear and know more about your guys' story. So, and then the first thing I get is father. I was like, okay, he's here. He's acknowledging that he's here. His presence is here. Then we do our small little investigation. We get really good stuff. And then we leave. We go to Gallister. The moment we hit record on camera, the spirit box says father. Wow. So that meant he followed us in the car or wherever how he got there and literally was with me the entire time.
Wow, that's cool.
And we've gone all over the place, and I would get his name every now and then in different locations that are not even close to where Pomona is.
Oh yeah,
that's super cool.
Mandy, what would you define that as?
I mean, I wouldn't call it an attachment.
Because it seems to only make itself known when you're investigating, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I'll call it a familiar rather than an attachment. But that happens. Oh, go ahead.
Like that's his operator on the other side? So when he calls,
also,
that's who picks
sometimes
up?
Like
Maybe it knows us, or maybe it's playing tricks with us sometimes. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, there are some where like I've had investigations. I have a spirit from Virginia City that has been ever since like this summer has been showing up almost every investigation that I go to. It's always there. So I don't know. I wouldn't call it an attachment because it's not like feeding off of me or anything, but any chance there is to communicate, that spirit is there. So I'm going to call it like a familiar. What?
Is that the preacher?
No, that's the New Realities attachment. That one's an attachment. That's theirs. The preacher, he shows up on every investigation that they do. And he showed up on ours. But yeah, so I would say it's just, they know that you're doing this and they know that you're communicating. So they're going to follow you and try to talk every chance. And they know that if they keep saying father, you're going to recognize that spirit as that spirit, right? So that's that's going to be the clue to give away. So
it's like, if I hand Brian the Ovulus 3, it says Veronica almost every time. Right?
Who's Veronica, Brian?
I wish I knew.
It said it at the Good Spring Cemetery 3 times ago that we went. The first time with me, you, and Boom, late at night in the cold, and it said it every time I've given it to you since. It says Veronica.
Wow.
It said it in the Queen Mary. It said it in the Goldfield Hotel. Huh?
Someday maybe I'll meet Veronica.
Maybe. We got a question from Kindred to you guys. What's your favorite paranormal equipment to use?
Damn. Putting us on the spot there. That's a good question, honestly.
You use the rods a lot too.
I use the dowsing rods for the most part because I honestly get a lot of responses with that. And I find that equipment very reliable in my opinion because it's pretty accurate. It's pretty straightforward. Cross for yes, open for no. Use both rods to point directions. And even Alex had his own experience in Spadra.
Yeah.
When he got touched, I was like, you know what? It's time for dowsing rods. And then your story on that.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, like I used them. Like I think that was the first time I actually used them.
Yeah.
So, and man, I was asking questions, and boom, they just started moving like out of nowhere. Just like, I was like, what? Whoa, I'm not doing this. This is crazy. I'm like, all right, I'm going to look. I don't want to look too crazy here on the camera, but like, yeah, it's happening. It's happening. So yeah, it was wild. When you see that, you're just holding them and just you asking the question and it's just answering.
Mhm.
I think that's one of our favorite
Yeah,
tool that
dowsing
we
rods are cool.
Yeah, but we use like the motion balls. We use
REM
we use like 3-4 different spirit box apps. Sometimes because we have like 3 phones or 4 phones. He has one. I'll have 3 with me, and then I'll just go ahead and just start them up and then lower them, and then later on or during the investigation or when we take a break, I will compare and stuff like that. So then I can see what's going on, and from there I can kind of see if like we're getting a match.
Mm-hmm.
We never want to rely on one thing. That's for sure for the whole investigation. We want to exhaust every tool that we can, because I feel like, okay, if we're gonna be here for a couple hours, we're gonna give it all as much as we can for ourselves and for the viewers.
Yeah.
Okay, so that way I can compile 4 hours and give you the best of everything that happened that night. I feel a lot of times people go, wow, oh my God, you go in a place and all of a sudden everything just happens. Well, that's because I don't want to make you guys watch 4 hours, but I feel 1 hour should be enough for an investigation somewhere. So if I go fly out to Florida, I feel I'll shoot 4 or 5 hours and condense it to 1 hour. I think you guys, I owe you an hour of an investigation for a property or a cemetery, whatever. Yeah. Like I said, in good faith for the place too, because if the owner of the manager of the clown motel is going to let me have access to it, I'm not going to do a 10-minute, video. And that is why I left the first group, because I was going there and shooting 5 hours of my time and being the cameraman and a little bit of the host. But then when it came for editing, he had the power to edit, and he'll just condense it to 10, 15, 20 minutes.
8 minutes.
And I'm like, nah, I can't do this.
8 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, I've always kind of found you do a first run through and you get what you get, sort of. I've had them come out with just you eliminate everything that doesn't get evidence. Sometimes even like stories that you start through the night and it's talking about this room and you go, well, that room never got evidence, so we just cut everything that references that room. And it's usually between 40 minutes and an hour and a half, no matter what. I've only had one go down to 10 minutes, and that was the Bat Cave. I didn't get anything from any device anywhere at the Bat Cave. So all I could kind of do is show some pretty shots of the cave and show that I went there, not one bit of equipment went off, and I used that as an example episode. Like, look, it doesn't always happen, everybody, but this is a beautiful spot. Check it out another time. But
the cool thing is it almost always happens.
Yeah. It's almost usually so much I can't handle it. Lately we take a third of the episode and take it out, and because of Paraflix, we put our main show on Paraflix and we put like a segment on YouTube, so kind of we're hitting everything.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's so fun.
It's like a teaser, basically.
Yeah, it's like a teaser, or it's like, hey, if you like this, there's a lot more. So now we're talking about locations. What are some bucket list locations? What are some places you guys really want to hit? Not just LA. Like, what are some places around the country?
San Francisco for sure. Yeah. There's the military bunker that I've been to quite a few times. I've experienced a lot of like really cold breeze when it's hot in summer. Oh, and wow. I've been there quite a few times. And at night, I've seen shadows going from left to right, from bunker to bunker, and it's really hard to tell because sometimes like you're just wondering, is that a person or is that just a spirit? And when you flash your light, there's no one there. It's just you. Wow. So I love locations that are pretty when they're like outside than being in a building, because in a building everything echoes, so you're trying to do an investigation down the hall, which is like 10 rooms down, but when your other partner is doing another investigation, you just hear the contamination of voiceovers, and I don't like when there's echoing, so I'd rather be in the outside where you could straight up hear your voice and then only you, so locations like that are always in my bucket list that I like to just be out in the wild where it just feels better that way.
Yeah.
Lately we've been kind of just doing a lot of the local and kind of like, okay, how much driving do I want to do in a day?
Yeah.
So right now we're going from LA to Utah would be as far as we would go.
Yeah.
We actually have a place to stay in Vegas, so we stay there too. So that's our like middle spot to kind of just unwind and recover and all that stuff, and then from there we can go further. But driving wise, like to Utah, but right now we're just kind of focusing on the local area, getting down all these locations here because it's my hometown. So why I don't think I want to go out. Oh, I'm gonna go to Florida and do stuff in Florida when I got a lot of stuff over here. No matter what no matter what, if there's crazy cemeteries in Florida, I still want to go ahead and hit the hometown first.
Yeah.
There's some kind of like pride about LA and being close to Nevada, Arizona. So I'm right now, like I said, I met some people out in Arizona. I'm working on stuff like that. I'm also working on some new locations, some places, but I want to have history to it. There's got to be history to it,
Yeah.
I don't want to go to a location with like there's really nothing there. It's just hearsay or we heard noises in there, and I'm like, okay. I feel like to my audience, I don't want to give them that. Like if we have episodes that we have done at locations that have history, or this person jumped, or this person this happened to this person, it's documented, it's in the newspaper, or there's a video of it. That's the kind of stuff I kind of like want to do, and I like to do, and I feel I think it's more credible.
You mean like a lot of people now, they'll urbex and investigate, but there's no history.
Yeah.
So they just
I don't mind doing that once in a while, or maybe 10-15%, but I don't want to muddy the water. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that we go to locations that have history, that we explain to people in the beginning of the episode why we're there.
Yeah.
What is the reason why we're there?
And what to expect, and what are the claims, and what can we confirm from all of those complaints in a way that people are stating, hey, we hear footsteps, or hey, we hear voices. Okay, what if we experience that? So we want to make sure that we have a combination of what someone said, and then being able, hey, you know what, we can actually confirm that your statements are actually our facts. So those are things that we normally try to aim for. If we could get someone or something running, we're going to capture that for sure. Because even if we're taking a break, we're still running the camera just in case if we capture something that we're not really focused on. So we'll play the camera down for a while, let it run while we're like taking a 10-20 minute break. Yeah. And then we'll review it later on to see, hey, did we capture anything? Oh, yeah, a bunch of orbs are going literally and encircling one of us, or just rushing out of nowhere. So we're like, okay, perfect. That's going to make it to the episode, or it's going to go on TikTok. We're going to, we don't want to bore people, but we want to show off whatever we're not showing on our episodes on somewhere else.
Yeah.
Let me add to that. I'll tell you, my whole things from the beginning of doing paranormal till now to where I am has all been based on by chance, by passion, by going there because I got invited and this person introduced me to that person, all because of that. I never had like a list and going, okay, today I'm going to go to Stanley and then I'm going to go here. Never like that. Yeah. I didn't know I was going to meet you guys in Vulture City, but I met you guys and now we are here talking live. That's how my whole life runs. Like in everything that I ever done in my life, the path is always shown and I always go.
Just follow that next step.
Right. So it's not something I learned. It's just something, I just go along. Like during COVID, I learned how to edit. And so I saw the issue of not having to rely on somebody else to edit. Then I spent a lot of money on just buying a lot of equipment. So now we have everything we need. So when he comes, he's ready to go. The batteries are ready to go. I'll give him, here you go. Here's the camera. Here's 5 batteries. And by the way, I got 3 more for you later on. So just let me know when. And then I have my batteries, and I have my other guy, his batteries, or he has batteries. All the batteries are charged. Camera's ready to go. Like I said, I have like a set structure. But when it comes to like the paranormal, like I didn't know where I was going to do the pet cemetery.
Yeah.
That's because Webb 702, he saw something in me. He saw that I was passionate about the paranormal.
Yeah.
And then he said, you know what? Hey, I want to take you somewhere when you come out to Vegas. He didn't have to tell me that. He didn't have to show me that. He did. You too. Like, you didn't have to do a live, but you did. We struck a conversation. I asked you, hey, what are you doing? So, I'm filming some cobwebs. I was like, hey.
Well, that was like... I knew you understood. I knew you understood what I was doing.
Yeah, so I was like, I know some more cobwebs. Let me help you out. And then I went and I showed it to you, and then we parted ways, and then somehow we connected again. So that's pretty much how I operate. I just operate on just good vibes, and just things come to me, and I just make sure that I don't burn bridges, and I keep my relations with people, and I'm dependable. I'm on time. If I say we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it.
Important.
And then the rest just works itself out. So who knows what we're gonna be doing at the end of next year? But I know that by the way we operating, we will like keep growing, and we'll just have a lot of like raw fun. Because for us, 4 hours of shooting, I don't get tired. I mean, I'm physically tired, but when I get home, when I drop these guys out, I'm still pumped. I'm like, oh, let me look at the footage, because I know we caught this and we caught that. So
I do that too. I'll drag in, put the kids to bed, and I'll come back out and I'll start watching footage.
Yeah. So
the sun will start coming up.
Yeah, this is a passion, and this is something that like I gotta be liking this and loving to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so yeah, that's pretty much it. So this year we definitely want to like collaborate with some more people, because I feel like we've been kind of focused a lot on the operations part, the look, the editing and all that, and getting out all the kinks. So hey, we need to be on TikTok. That's right. So like I took a couple weeks trying to figure out how that works. I didn't know how to operate TikTok, so I figured it out. And then I was like, well, how do I put my footage in there? Because I shoot in a horizontal fashion, not vertically. So what do I got to do now, you know? So I was like, okay, well, let me do like a certain format where I can set up my things and just put it on the phone and edit on my computer, send it to my phone, send it out. And then, so yeah, I'm kind of, like I said, we're in the industrial age of just retooling things, getting everything ready. But like for next year, we definitely want to like collaborate and just grow, and also bring in more flavor to us. So whether we bring in people that are more spiritual or from a different like nationality, or just like I said, just mix it up, you know, make the soup, you know, diverse. So we definitely want to do some collaborations for the upcoming year. I think it will be good for us, and overall, and for everybody else that will work with us too.
The cool thing about your brand as a whole is it has an art direction. So I can look at your Instagram and look at your YouTube and tell it's all kind of the same format, and it's all kind of the same design, just redone to each social media, which it sort of makes it pop out to me. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to streamline it, and I'm trying to keep it in certain colors. This is also like psychological stuff. Like, I mean, I didn't go to school for this, but I just kind of figured it out along the way. I'm like, okay, what is our colors? Well, you know what I mean? How are we gonna dress?
I do that too. I do yellow because no one does yellow, so all our stuff is yellow, and I do yellow because of Batman. So
yeah, definitely. But yeah, all that took time for me to figure it out, you know, and I did, and just, you know, like I said, now putting out something is a lot easier for me. And like I said, when I first started opening my Adobe Premiere, and I'm like, what the hell? What is this? How do I operate? And I just drag footage in there, and I'm like, okay, how does this do? What do I do with that? And then, you know, say 6 months later, I figured it out, and I could actually edit something, you know, decent, you know, and I'm still improving. And I feel like whatever I edit now is way better than when I first started editing, and what I will be editing and 4 or 5 years will be way better than what I'm doing now. So we're constantly growing, and I always encourage my team to go ahead and keep getting better at what we're doing. Like I said, I don't always.
The more you work together too, the more you'll be fluid. Yeah.
Yeah, he films too, and he's really, really good at it. And he's always improving his skills, and so is Hex too. He's always improving his skills. We all give each other opinions, and it's cool. Ultimately, I decide at the end, but I'll turn around and ask them, hey, what do you guys feel about this, this, and this, and that? And then they'll say this and this, and I go, you know what? I think they make a point. Let's go that way. But yeah, it's a lot of growing, basically. It's like going to school with these guys and just evolving, and then things just happen.
Yeah.
And like
Mandy,
I said,
did you go to school, Mandy, and take editing for your Queen Mary thing?
It was part of my degree. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What is the weirdest thing they teach you in a school that you see people doing right that they teach you maybe is wrong in a class situation? Is there anything like that?
I mean, it wasn't like an actual, it wasn't film school or anything. Okay. So I couldn't even tell you.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I
know you were doing your documentary on the Queen Mary though. But I know I've heard film people talk bad about quick cuts, and I'm like, TikTok is all quick cuts.
Yeah.
If you don't change camera angles every time you say a different word, you don't keep the camera moving each time. Like they talk about Mr. Beast has 187 cuts in a 1-minute video, and it's just every time he does something, it's a different zoom in, a different zoom out, just because it keeps your eyes looking. Yes,
there are a ton of rules in narrative filmmaking that are really thrown out the window in documentary or live filmmaking. So you have to just figure out what works best for the footage that you have. In making a narrative film, you would almost never cut from one angle where action is going in one direction to the other side of the room where it's going in the other, because if you're trying to tell a story, that's not a narrative line and it doesn't work. But with something like ghost hunting, you're just cutting around to where things are happening and where people are reacting. So you're not paying attention to rules like that as far as filmmaking goes.
Yeah, you never get another chance to go, wait, what did you say, ghost? Or, spirit?
Wait,
can you do that one more time? Either you get it or you don't get it. You always have to be ready for it. It's like that first take is the most important one sometimes when we go on locations.
Yeah. Well, and also just like a movie, I feel like if we don't B-roll the location right, we could be anywhere investigating because it's just black and green. And if you don't know what building we're in, what room we're in from our lights on B-roll, you're just watching us in the dark doing whatever the fuck we want, And I'll watch movies. I was watching some movie recently and they went from outside in and they didn't show the building. And I got so mad. I was like, I don't know what the building looks like. How big is it? Is it small? Is there stairs? Is it 2 stories? They're just walking in a building. I don't know why. It made me so furious that I didn't know what the building looked like.
We got lucky with Pet Cemetery. It's just all one big cemetery. So we had to kind of explain where we are and say, hey, this area is you can tell that it's older older tombstones. So you see, that's made out of wood and everything. Oh, yeah. And then later on, we keep going further deeper into the cemetery, and then there's just elaborate fences and big posts and a bird cage with all kinds of things, a variety of stuff. But yeah, it also matters too, when you're in the location to kind of show the place, give it a history. Yeah. San Carlos was that. We gave a lot of history there. Man. We spent some time on that.
Because I always think the worst ghost hunting shows are it just starts blacklight and it never even shows who's holding the camera. And it's just people talking and they're in a building and they're walking around. And it's 4 hours of just that one person walking through a house.
I got the opposite of that. Sometimes when we're filming, things are happening so much and I'm shooting in selfie mode like that. And I have the camera to us. And then I'm like, oh, hold on. Now I'm like, I got it once in a while. I'll get a complaint like, hey, show more of where you are. So I'm like, all right, let me let my brain process that while I'm going in a crazy place. It's haunted. Maybe it's got some homeless people living in there. Maybe I'm dealing with cops, security, but I still got to make sure that I film also in the front and the back and everything. So sometimes you try your best, and like I said, I'm getting better at it. Because sometimes I'll forget. Like, oh yeah, let me turn it around, guys. So I actually talk in the video and go, okay, guys, I'm gonna turn this around so I can show you guys what we're looking at, what you're seeing, or you know what I mean. And sometimes I'll even say, hey, it's kind of dark. I don't know what you guys can see, but this is as best as we can, because if we turn on the lights brighter, cops are gonna be coming and see that we're in here. So like literally at the church, we had to crawl in there, open up the like plastic thing that says caution, do not enter, asbestos. And I'm like, this is the stuff we were doing. I said, you know what? It's got asbestos. I'm like, okay, whatever. We're not gonna die. We're only going like twice in here, 3 times. Let's do this. So we went in there. We got hotboxed in that place because the church, all the windows, everything was sealed up with like thick plastic with tape, like hardcore duct tape.
Y'all are just in a sauna.
Yeah, so we're like hotboxed in there. We did our thing. We crawled out, and as we're going,
literally sheriff department cops were swarming the area as we were leaving. 3 of them were just coming inwards with their lights on because apparently someone was spotted, and it was us. So we literally got lucky on getting out on time without even getting caught up.
When I pulled out of the scary dairy, I drove right by like 3 state park guys that looked really mad.
Yeah, actually we did. I'm doing Scary Dairy right now. It's kind of half complete with I don't know if you know a gentleman named Jim, the Shadow Seeker.
I think so.
Yeah, the.shadow.seeker. He's gonna be working with us a lot. So upcoming. So he's joining us, and cool. He shoots on a big rig. Like we shoot with my camera reverse with a handle. And he's shooting with a bigger rig on his shoulder. So it's going to be really cool because he's going to have that zoom thing. I don't use zoom a lot at all because zoom cameras means I have to brighten the area more. So I usually use primes, 1.4s, 1.2s. You know what I mean? So I could use less light. But yeah, he's going to have a different style. But I'm really looking into filming with him. But he's following, but he's a really cool guy. And he introduced me to that location. So we went out there.
Yeah.
And as we were shooting, the cops were like, hey, by the way, do you know that there's an asylum up the street? I'm like, what? Really? Yeah. So we got kicked out pretty much because they're like, oh, you got to leave when it gets dark. And if you guys go inside the fences, you guys are going to get arrested. Okay, go ahead. Happy hunting, That's what they said to us when we first went there.
The worst thing you could be doing isn't ghost hunting. So they're usually pretty cool with us.
Yeah,
as long as you don't have a spray paint can in your hand, they're like, "Oh, okay, go ahead."
Yeah, as soon as we got there, the cops was already there. Like, "Oh, hey, what you guys doing?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be filming." "Oh, what are you filming?" "Documentary." I'm like, and they're like, we're just keeping conversation with them, and he's like, "All right, cool. Just don't go inside. If you do, you'll be arrested. But like, go ahead, have fun." He didn't say in a mean way, but he just was doing his job. And anyways, later on, they had like a bullhorn, and they were like, "Hey, everybody, the park is closed. Time to leave." Yeah. And I'm like, "What the hell?" So we left, and then we went to the asylum up the street, and we did that place. You've been there, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I'll tell you one thing. During it, we're walking around, finishing, and like, you know what? We need to come back because we were overwhelmed. We didn't think the asylum was going to be that big. In my pocket, Elvis starts playing on my phone. Okay? Yeah. I don't think I was searching for Elvis during the daytime before I started the investigation. So that was just so creepy. Like, got that on film and more stuff. But yeah, I'm actually excited to go there. That's to go and kind of finish it up and stuff like that.
We had a voice say goodnight, super clear to us.
Wow.
Once with me and Brian, and then like a year later with me and Mandy. The same goodnight lady says goodnight, like real clear. Mm-hmm. We have a question from Kindred. Have you worked with a psychic medium on an investigation yet?
No, have we? Layla. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Layla.
Oh, cool.
Special shout out to Layla from Paranormal East LA. That's a big group on Facebook. You guys want to check them out? Really nice group. They're always, nice. You can share your episodes out there. They'll talk about the investigation. They're really, really cool, nice crowd. So that's Layla. She runs Paranormal East LA. We did the Dead Man's Park in Whittier.
Where's that?
Whittier.
Dead Man's Park?
Yeah.
So I'm talking to everybody. I got all of these locations right.
All right. So this place, look, it's a park, but before it was a cemetery. And the neighborhood decided, you know what? We don't want the cemetery here. So
that's the one Brandon did his documentary on. Brandon Alvarez, right?
Uh-huh.
He did the documentary about that park.
Yeah.
Because it has that creepy ass gate around it. It looks like a cemetery.
Not anymore though.
Yeah.
They got rid of
that gate and everything.
Yeah, everything is gone. It used to. Okay, so each section used to house more than 500 people.
Yeah.
But couple of years ago, they decided to make that into a park because people felt uncomfortable living next to a cemetery.
Yeah.
So there's sections of the area that there's still body remains in the ground because not everyone got taken out because it's just too many. So what they ended up doing was flatten everything out. They just put grass and then boom, became a park. But the experience that we had there is one that I would never forget.
Yeah, tell me
the
about
experience I had there was very I could say it was interesting because when we got there, we went to do our, basically we scout the area, make sure that everything is safe for us, that there's no one being weird, no one trying to, contaminate or being loud while we're trying to investigate. And when we're doing our walkthrough, I felt like I was being drained completely where I didn't even want to investigate. I just wanted to sleep. Like, I felt like I just want to knock out. And once we get to the car, I pass out for easily probably 2 hours while we're waiting for our group to fully get together. And while I'm in the vehicle, I felt like a heavy presence just being pushed down onto my whole body. And I'm literally, in my mind, I'm like yelling for Alex. And he don't hear me. And all of a sudden, I somehow break from it. Yeah. And I'm gasping for air, and I'm like, Alex, can't you hear me? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, I'm calling you. Like, I'm literally screaming.
Like sleep paralysis in the car while you're just hanging out.
It literally felt like that, and it was like the most scariest thing I probably ever experienced from that day forward.
And it was, man, that night was so cold.
It was freezing. It was like probably like 30 something degrees, and it's weird because LA never gets that cold, but that night particularly was like 30 degrees, and it was very weird.
If you search that location, there's a lot of stories about, there's fog here, there's, weird things, shadows, and it's usually colder than normal. So it's like, so I'm like, okay, we'll see if that happens. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened, because at the end of our investigation, I could tell that we collaborated with her and her boyfriend, and we're like, I could see that they're freezing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they want to leave. They're exhausted, they're tired, and they're cold. And even though I'm cold and exhausted, I'm like, I think we gotta cut this, and we still did quite a lot of hours. Yeah. But it was so cold. Like literally, when I was filming them, I could see they're just like moving their feet up and down.
You could see like your breath while you're speaking, which that was the first time for me. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
In LA, that's what happened to us, Brian, at the Suicide Bridge. If you watch our daytime B-roll and our daytime interviews, it's bright and sunny, and by 7 o'clock. This fog came in on kind of both sides, and you couldn't see off the bridge.
What?
It was just the whole bridge was in a cloud.
This is on video because I'm gonna watch that.
Oh yeah. But just watch from the beginning to the end. Okay. We start normal, and then it ends. We are just in a cloud by the end of the bridge.
What did you guys experience on that bridge?
Really. A very dark entity, a very old entity in the middle of the bridge. We took Miriam the medium from the Unexplained Cases with us. She felt the dark entity. She wanted us to ignore it and keep going. Brian almost couldn't walk by the spot.
There was a spot that I couldn't walk past for a period of time. I'd just get there and just like stop. And I'm like, why can't I go any further? I just couldn't. And then eventually I was able to walk past. But for a while, it was almost like a magnetic, opposing magnet feeling when I would approach that spot. It was super weird.
I saw a spirit visually. We got a voice on the spirit box that was the same, like the medium called it. She goes, a girl named Jenny is here. And we got Jenny. And I go, why'd you come here to jump? Why'd you jump? I'm sad. And then at the end, we helped her cross over. And I saw, it's a weird shot where I see this flash of light and my camera's pointed at me, but I zoom in, I go, look at my eye. And you can see in the reflection of my eye when the medium says, this flash in the reflection of my eye, and the medium goes, oh, she crossed over. And it's like at the exact same time that I get this flash reflection in my eye is the only thing I can do to explain it. Yeah, that was a wild night. Oh.
Likewise for us too.
Yeah. You guys, we have hit our time. We're 11 minutes over for bedtime for some of these kiddies. I'm so glad we met you guys at Vulture City. We didn't meet all of you. We met half of you, but we're going to have to meet all of you again and take us to some of these spots you guys are hitting. I see you guys hit that picnic table. That place is awesome. I got to take them to the picnic table.
Yeah, there's a nice hike up there.
It's a nice hike, but that place, it's so left damaged that tree is just on the table and like no one wants to touch it. And the clear, if you haven't watched our picnic table, I watched yours today. I said Rand was the singer and not the actor, and the female voice goes, he was the singer, like corrected me, or whichever one it was. And then they were finishing my sentences. Like I went to put my leg up. I go, I'm going to, and it goes, put your leg on the table. And I'm like, oh my God, like it. And that's all through the spirit box. It was pretty amazing. But you guys are doing awesome work. You guys are blanketing LA with style, and you guys, I'm excited to watch you guys take off because you're doing such clean investigations and putting together such a good product.
Thank you.
And we'll have to have you back on soon. Once we get through this first year, we're gonna get some repeats because it's only been a year of talking, and we got more talking to do. Paranormal Forces, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, and we will talk to you guys soon.
See ya, guys.
Later. What a cool team. It's so cool to meet guys that are from LA when you're on another spot and you come home and they tell you about locations you've never been to.
Yeah. I'll have to check them out.
Yeah. Big news. Since last week's episode and my little kind of teary end, we've got 2 new patrons. So we're probably going to upgrade this program so we can go live, maybe adding Twitter and something else. But we can add more places we're live at the same time, simulcast. And so if you don't know, this program and this channel that we pay for, that this program goes out through, we pay for through our Patreon. We got a small Patreon. Follow the link tree in our bio. You can join our Patreon. Just $1 a month really helps us a lot. And it helps pay for this show. And so adding these 2 new patrons, it's going to really help. We're going to amp this show up and then maybe try to start saving. Who knows? But also, I did it last week. It gave me chills, and I want to do it again. I want to play the Nevada State Prison commercial. Our latest and greatest work is on Paraflix. Follow the link tree in our bio. You don't want to miss it. Check this shit out. This is Nevada State Prison. This is the most active investigation any of us has ever been on. This is where the sun don't shine. A place that even with a flashlight...
Can you touch this device again?
You can't see 2 feet in front of your face.
Oh my God, that's clear!
Hollywood paranormal detectives thought we had seen the dark.
Face with like white hair, like Scooby-Doo ghost in that. Ooh,
But the dark is much darker here.
You would suggest against letting a murderer into your body?
Too late.
This is Nevada State Prison. Absolutely. So if you're still here,
Cool.
go check that out. I got my got my new HPD shirt.
What was that?
That was the new T-shirt ad,
Cool.
right? Remember that? Did I scare ye?
Yeah.
What
was that?
You want to be scared? Watch this.
On this very beach in 2014, a fisherman saw a large, hairy man creature.
Hey.
Brian, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Brian, I'm sorry.
Thank you guys. From the bottom of our heart, HPD loves everybody watching. Subscribe, help us.
Sorry.
Brian said
I
you.
thought somebody I didn't like.
Oh, not that one. Not you. You. The guy who's been sitting here the whole time, not commenting, but what? Sorry. Thank you, everybody. We hope to see you soon. And we love it. We love the paranormal. Say goodnight, Brian.
Good night, Brian.
Here we go. Here we go.